So this is what our final clock project. This is as far as you need to take it. I just want you to try using these expressions to build a clock tool. If you want to take it farther, if you want to add a clock face, you can start building it with these shape tools. Let's just start a new composition, and we're going to build a little bit of this together, and then I'll let you go off on your own when you try to do the expression. So we'll call it clock project, and I'm just making the width 1080, height 1080, so it's square. What's cool is if you have this square composition, just a quick tip, and if I double click on this ellipse tool, or if it's a square or whatever, it'll fit to your scene. However, because it's using the stroke and not the fill, some of the stroke leaves. So if you were going to make a clock face, do that, where you just double click and it'll fill it to your, so that's kind of neat. So I'm just going to call it clock face, and then I'm going to hide it because we didn't really need to do that. So let's go up, instead of using the rectangle tool, I'm just going to use the rounded rectangle tool, and I'm going to this is going to be our minute hand, and notice where I'm kind of putting the origin down where I want that, or not the origin, but it's called the anchor point, where I want it to rotate. And I'm going to tweak that anchor point just a little bit. So just by clicking, we see this anchor point is of the shape, but of the anchor, we want to do the anchor point of the layer. So make sure you have nothing selected, click the layer, and then you'll see this kind of anchor point. And as you can see, they do have a slightly different appearance. So if I click the rectangle, the anchor point is like a smaller target. But we want to use the anchor point not of that individual shape within the layer. We want to use the shape layer itself. So I'm just going to click and drag this a little bit over, and then if I hold Control and click and drag, I can see it lines it right up on that center point, and I'm going to do it right about there. So now we'll call this minute hand, or just minute, and maybe that color is fine, but if you want to change it, click the shape layer called minute, click your rectangle or rounded rectangle tool, and then you can click the color to be, normally it's like second hands that are red, but I'm going to make this minute hand red. So now I'm going to change the fill color to be, I'm going to make it white because our background is transparent, but it's kind of reading as black. So I'm just going to make it white for now. So, okay, and now let's make the hour hand. So I changed the fill to white, and still using the rounded rectangle tool, I'm just going to make a new shape, kind of get it close, and it doesn't have as nice of a roundness. It looks more of a rectangle to me, so I'm going to really increase the roundness by opening the shape layer in the contents rectangle path. With this particular rounded rectangle, we have this roundness setting, so I'll increase that roundness. And let's label this hour. So our anchor point is off. So I'm going to go to this tool up here. It's called the pan behind tool. I'm going to just drag it. I mainly just want it centered, and I'm just kind of estimating that it would rotate around this point. But now we can see these two layers are slightly off. So if I just click between them, we can see it almost looks like the anchor point is jumping. It's not. The anchor points are centered right. It's just these are slightly, they're slightly off center. So the quickest way to put them into position is I'm going to hit P on the minute and P on the hours to bring up the position property. I'm going to copy the position, select the position word, hit Command C, select the position for the hour, and then Command V. And now it puts their anchor points right on top of each other. Okay, and let me increase the transparency by hitting T. So here's where you got to use some problem-solving detective skills. I know that when a clock points to 1, so if we start at noon and the hour hand will go to the 1 o'clock hour, the rotation hand would have done a full 360 degrees. That's like the basically that's the difference I want. Every hour that this one moves, every hour that the the hour hand moves, I want the minute hand to do a full 360-degree turn. So we need to figure, and so what is an hour in terms of number, in terms of degree? So the simplest way is, like, we know that a full 12 hours, a full 360 degrees, has 12 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to just use some math. Let me make sure everything's set to 0 again. And in this little field, I'm going to say 360 degrees. I know that's the full rotation of the turn, and there's 12 numbers within that 360 degrees. So I do /12. So now I can see that every number is going to be a 30-degree change. And so for every 30-degree change on the hour hand, I want a 360-degree change on the minute hand. So let's open up this little, so 30 degrees on the hour, I want to equal 360 degrees on the minute. And this is kind of cool because in a way I know the answer already. I want 30 degrees to equal 360 degrees. So here is where, well, we know 30 does not equal 360. So it's 30 times, we want it to be multiplied by something to equal 360 degrees. So if you can solve this equation, you get the answer. So this is almost like a rate of change. So for every whatever the unit is, in this case it's 30, multiplied by this rate will get us the proper difference. I know I use that those terms wrong, but anyways, that's how my mind uses this. So let's start setting up this expression. So remember, hold Option, click the rotation, and I'm going to pick whip and say I want to draw from the value of the hour hand's rotation. So right now, right now they're just totally in sync. So this is whatever the rotation is of the hour hand. So in this case we wanted it to be 30, but it can be 50, it can be whatever, it doesn't matter, but we'll just say leave it at 30. And we're going to say multiplied by something, so you got to figure out that something. So if you just write this equation, if you put in the right number right here and hit return, or click off, it should do something. So I might just put in like 3 just to show you. So multiplied by 3. So now, if you're not going for accuracy, that would actually work. So I'll just let you guys figure it out from there.